Hi guys, so I've given you a little bit of an introduction into my experiences of coming off birth control and starting out with natural cycles, which I've been using for over a year now. So I thought I should give you a little bit of an introduction to the app and how to use natural cycles and just a little bit more about how it works. So to use natural cycles you need a basal body thermometer. So this is a thermometer that has, I don't know if you can see, 2 decimal points. So it's a bit different to your regular fever thermometer because it has that extra decimal point. That's to detect smaller changes in your temperature that happen throughout your month. So after you ovulate you produce progesterone and that increases your temperature, which gives you the green light to go ahead and have unprotected sex because you're no longer at risk of becoming pregnant. So you use your thermometer alongside this app. So this is the Natural Cycles app when you load it up in the morning. When you open it first thing in the morning, it will prompt you to put in your temperature. This is because you take your temperature the first thing you do when you wake up. So it's to get the lowest temperature that you should really have, and that occurs just after as you wake up. So you put this temperature in, and then the app does a little bit of fancy maths and figures out whether you've ovulated or not. So if you're using the Prevent plan, so you're trying to avoid pregnancy, you get these bright green or bright red days. So that tells you whether you're at risk of pregnancy or not. So I'm currently on a green day, so I am happy to go ahead and have unprotected sex. You also enter in information such as whether you've got your period at the moment, any spotting you might have. You can also put in LH tests, which are luteinizing hormone tests. Luteinizing hormone is produced a couple of days before you ovulate, and you can detect that in your urine. So some women, to try and increase the accuracy of the app, use those tests. The app itself prompts you when it wants you to do those, and you can get them cheaply off Amazon. Those are the same ones that are cleared by the FDA and used by the NHS themselves. So as well as this daily bit, you get your predictions along there. So you can see that this week I'm predicted my period today, tomorrow and Monday, and then the rest of it it's clear because I've been using it for such a long time that it knows how long my period generally lasts and gives me that information. You also have this monthly view. So this is what my last month looked like when I had my LH tests, when I had my green days, my red days, and my predicted green and red days for the things. It's important to know those are predicted green and red days and not actual green and red days. So as I put more information in, it'll change its predictions depending on what's happening. And then you also have this little history tab along the top. So that tells you when you've entered information. You should try and enter it every day if you can, but you need to do it at least 5 days for it to be accurate. And it'll tell you. You can also put in things like when you're experiencing PMS, and it'll start to tell you when to think that you might experience those things as well. So that's the main page that you can come to. You also get this statistics page. So this tells you a bit more about your cycle and how you compare to other people. So this is just generally my cycle is how long it is. So it's 31 days average, where my cover line sits, how often I'm entering my temperature, how many cycles I've had, and if I've had any anovulatory cycles. It then tells you things like your follicular phase. So this is the phase before you produce your egg. So how long this roughly is, and thus that how it works out your pre-ovulation red days and green days. Also tells you whether your temperature variation is good. So you need a kind of fairly small temperature variation day to day to try and figure out roughly whether you're ovulating or not. You also get your luteal phase, so this is the phase after you've ovulated where you should be getting all those lovely green days, and when your average ovulation is, and how many LH tests you've entered and things like that. Now alongside that you get a lovely graph. I'll show you one of my last ones. So this is my last cycle. So as you can see there's a line there, and all the temperatures below that line are before I ovulate, and then it's realised that I've ovulated and given me more green days after that. And you can see where the rise in the progesterone is, so just along there. So you can give it lots of information. You can see what it looks like for 3 cycles, for 9 cycles, just however long you've done it. It's all information, it's just nice to see that information. So yeah, and Natural Cycles will occasionally give you wee messages like PMS is coming up, your period's due, make sure you've got things in. It can also prompt you to do a breast exam every month or so, just so that you know what's normal for you, and that's really important in preventing cancer. And then you can set it to prevent, plan, or follow your pregnancy. So depending on how you want to use the app, that's how you use it. So yeah, this is the Natural Cycles app. I hope that's been useful to you. And I've added a referral code in the link, and hopefully you now understand a little bit more about Natural Cycles. So thank you.